In terms of the energy, it's the same reason why we find fusion attractive is why fission is attractive. It's flat out, full stop, nothing more than energy density. It's a phenomenal energy density, and that's why nuclear is so attractive. That's why fusion is attractive. The same reason fission is attractive is why fusion is attractive. Let me put this in context for you. This will really sharpen it up. I pointed out earlier that all other forms of engineering or controlling nature, it's some form of rearranging valence electrons, the outer orbital electrons around materials, around atoms. You're just juggling how they interact with each other and how these atoms bond and make things like chemical engineering. When I do that, when I burn fossil fuels, for example, that's about 1 electron volt per atom in the combustion process. When I fission a uranium-235, I get 200 million electron volts per atom. 200 million electron volts per atom versus 1 electron volt per atom. The energy density is phenomenal. And so what that means is I need so little amount of materials, so little amount of land, so little amount of area of landmass and mining and milling and waste. And that's why fusion is attractive. It's energy density. With fusion, you get about, say, maybe 10 million electron volts per atom, something like that. Or if you do by mass, you get more energy per mass with fusion than with fission. With fission, you just have these massive nuclei. With fusion, you have these smaller ones. But it comes back down many, many millions of times higher energy density than you get with anything else. And that's why it's so attractive, because you can have such a sustainable form of energy, such a small impact on the environment. The idea is, at least my passion, is that everybody has our standard of living with a much smaller footprint, with a tiny little negligible environmental impact, so that with the area that we have with a city, that could be everything that we would need, and we would leave nature pristine. I love that in the United States, we have recognized the utility and the benefit and the importance of saying that there is some land that is so important that we're going to pass a law that the only thing you can do is look at it. And the only infrastructure that can go there is the infrastructure that allows you to look at it. And what you can touch is limited. And this is what you can touch, and you can touch nothing else. Everything else you just look at or you just touch. You can't do anything else. And that's the national parks. But there's so much more that's beautiful out there that to me, it just seems, it seems heinous to say, well, there's land that's not being used. We need to find a use for it. It's like, oh, please no. But I understand, when it comes to agriculture, you need agriculture. But for energy, when there are other alternatives for energy where you can have such a negligible environmental footprint for energy, why would you want to have a massive environmental footprint for energy when you can have a negligible one? To me, it's just such a compelling story.